Hi everyone, we're on video 3 and 8.4 and we're finishing the lesson about the part called metalworking. On this one it says find the length of stock needed to create the shape, round to the nearest tenth. So as you can see here, we've got straight lengths on either side of this that are going to be 14 inches. Right, so that part. So altogether our straight length will be 14 and 14. So we'll add that whenever we get ready to get the total length. And then we have an inside diameter, right? So to the inside of the metal is 16 inches. So we have a diameter of 16 inches. And then we have to go to the midline on both sides. So we actually have to add half of this to both sides. Well, if I add half of that to both sides, I'm adding 1 1/4 inches. So my radius is going to be plus 1.25 inches. And that gives me a diameter of 17.25. Now, I hope that you get that. Right? If I go to the midline of this circle, right here, the midline is going to be at half of 1 1/4, which I believe is 5/8 of an inch. But there's 1 on both ends of my diameter, and so I'm really adding the whole thing 1 1/4 inches. All right, let's see if I can get this back to where I wanted it. All right, sorry about that. And then what happened here? This thing is not behaving. All right, I think I got that fixed. So the diameter is 17.25 inches. I changed to a different color. And that's the diameter we're going to use. Now, notice that this is a semicircle. So we're going to use half the circumference for a semicircle. That's going to be pi times the diameter divided by 2 for a semicircle. And then let's put in our numbers. So we've got pi times our diameter of 17.25 inches divided by 2. That's 8.625 times pi. And then when I calculate that, 27.096, I'm going to add that to my straight lengths, and there's 2 of them. All right, so my length is, when I round it, 55.1 inches. All right. So once again, you had to kind of analyze it. You had to figure out the hardest part is the radius or diameter because of the midline of our metal. All right, here's another one. So another piece of stock in this shape. So this time we have a full circle. It says find the length of the stock to make this shape. Now we have to just kind of talk through this a little bit. You can see that it's 11 inches to the outside and 9 inches on the inside. So what that means is this right here is 2 inches. Right, it's 2 inches. Oh, no, sorry. I did that wrong. It's 2 inches total, right? So this part is 1 inch. Boy, that just doesn't work out good right there. All right, so 1 inch width. Now, how did I decide that? Well, here's why. Because the inside is 9, the outside's 11. I have to add 1 inch on both sides, right? 1 inch. Because that's how I figure, oh, that's how I get all the way to the 11. So the actual width of the metal is 1 inch, and then that means that I'm going to add half of that to both sides of the 9 to get my diameter. All right, so my diameter is going to be 9 plus 2 times 1/2, or just 9 plus 1. So I get a diameter of 10 inches. It's a full circle this time. We don't have to divide it by anything. So pi times my diameter is going to be pi times 10. I hope you understand where I got that diameter right, because I had to go to the midline of the metal, right? And it was 1 inch across, and I have to take half of that on each end. And then my circumference is 31.4 inches. That is rounded. All right, of course we know that's going to be rounded because of the value of pi, 3.14159, and it keeps going, right? And so we have to have that rounded amount. Okay, I have one more question, probably the hardest one. And also because all my measurements are in feet and inches. And so I believe on this one that the easiest way to go about this is to actually put everything in inches. It says an electrician bends a 1/2 inch conduit as shown in the figure to follow the bend in a wall. Find the total length of conduit needed between A and B. All right, so the total length of that thing, use pi equals 3.14. All right, so we just have a few things that we have to figure out here. 4 foot 6 inches, so 4 feet would be 48 inches, 4 times 12, plus 6. So 54 inches for this part. We're doing that because our radius is listed in inches. So we have to figure out that based on it. All right, based on inches, everything in inches. 2 feet 6 inches is going to be 2 times 12, which is 24, plus 6, so that's going to be 30 inches. And then this one right here, 2 feet, that's going to be 24 inches. Let's see, do I have it? I think that's all the ones I have to do there. Now, our conduit is a 1/2 inch in width, right? So the thickness is a 1/2 inch. The midline would be at a 1/4 inch. So this radius is going to be 4 plus 0.25. So we'll have a radius of 4.25 for one of these. Now that's a 1/4 turn there, and then we have another 1/4 turn at the bottom. It's not turned as sharply, right? So we have 6 inches. So that radius is going to be 6 plus 0.25. So we get a radius of 6.25. Wait, that radius is going to be 6 plus 0.25. I don't know what I said there. And so I'm going to have 6.25 inches. Now we can go ahead and get diameters for both of these also. So my diameter would be 8.5 and 12.5. Okay. All right, because I'm going to use pi times the diameter for my circumference. So it's 1/4 for both of them because they're both a 1/4 turn. So that's what we have to figure out. So I'm going to have a circumference of pi times my diameter divided by 4. And then I'm going to add another one divided by 4. But remember, my diameter is not the same because I have 2 different turns. So pi, we're using 3.14, so 3.14 times my radius, doesn't matter which one you put in first, of 8.5 divided by 4 plus, put 3.14 times my diameter of 12.5, and then that is also divided by 4. If I calculate 6.6725 plus 9.8125. So the curved part of this conduit is 16.485 inches. Now, as you can see, I'm doing some rounding here. well, I think I was doing some roundings here. 3.14 times 8.5. Yeah, this is not rounded. And then I don't think the other one is either, I guess I should say. All right, so this one is not rounded. So when I add those together, 6, 7, 2. Yeah, this is exact because we were using 3.14. We weren't using the pi key there. All right, so my total length is going to be my curvy part, my curvy parts, right? I've got 2 of those. And then I have 54, 30, and 24 on my straight links, right? I had this one, and that, right? 3 different parts that were straight. That gives me a total of 124.485. It says to find the total length. So this is in inches. And then if I wanted to find that in feet, I could divide it by 12. And that's 10.37. So I think leaving it in inches is fine. If you wanted to divide it by 12, that would also be okay. But really you would want that in feet and inches. And that ends up being about 10 feet, 4.5 inches. So either way you list that is okay, right? Like this or that. I got that from dividing by 12 and then converting the 0.37375 to inches by multiplying by 12. I didn't show all that because I've already got so much work on here. I didn't want to write that all out. And really just pay attention, you know, especially if you're doing a problem on MyLab, on whether it wants your answer any other way, right? Does it want it in inches? Is that okay? Or does it tell you to write it in a different way? Okay, well, that's the end of section 8.4.